The great secret I wish to impart to you tonight concerns that mystical state between wakefulness and slumber. That precious interval when your conscious, reasoning mind begins to slip away and you enter the realm of the subconscious, the realm where all creation begins. It is in this drowsy, receptive state that you can plant the seed of your desire with the greatest effectiveness. For in this state, your conscious mind's resistance is at its lowest. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. When I speak of asking the universe, I am not suggesting that you plead with some external deity or force. The universe I speak of is not separate from you. It is you, in your truest essence. Your wonderful human imagination is God in action, and when you enter that state akin to sleep, you are entering the realm where this divine aspect of yourself operates with unfettered power. Consider for a moment the words of Scripture. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction. This is not mere poetry. It is a profound truth about the nature of consciousness and creation. The sleep state is when the deepest impressions are made upon our subconscious mind, which then proceeds to externalize these impressions in our three-dimensional world. I have tested this principle countless times, both in my own life and in the lives of those who have applied my teachings. The results are invariably the same. What you impress upon your subconscious mind as you drift into sleep will, with mathematical precision, objectify itself in your world. This is not magic. It is the law of consciousness. Let me illustrate this with a personal experience. Many years ago, I desired to travel to Barbados to see my family. However, I had no money for passage, and there seemed to be no logical way that such a journey could be undertaken. Rather than dwelling on the seeming impossibility of my desire, I began to practice what I am sharing with you tonight. As I lay in my bed each night, approaching that boundary between wakefulness and sleep, I would imagine that I was already in Barbados. I would feel the tropical warmth on my skin. I would hear the distinct accent of the islanders. I would feel the embraces of my family members. I would smell the unique fragrances of my island home. In short, I would live in my imagination, as though I were already experiencing what I desired to experience. I did not question how this would come to pass. I did not concern myself with the means. I simply lived in my imagination from the end being the fulfillment of my desire. And then I would drift into sleep, carrying this feeling of fulfillment with me. Within a matter of weeks, against all odds and through a series of events that no one could have predicted, I received not only the funds for passage, but a first-class ticket to Barbados. The outer circumstances rearranged themselves to conform to my inner assumption. This is the principle I want you to grasp tonight, the feeling of the wish fulfilled, impressed upon your subconscious mind as you fall asleep, must objectify itself in your external world. This is not a matter of hope or positive thinking. It is a matter of law. You see, your subconscious mind accepts as true whatever you impress upon it in that drowsy state before sleep. It does not question, it does not argue. It simply accepts and then proceeds to bring about the conditions and events that correspond to that impression. Your subconscious mind is the fertile soil in which the seeds of your imagination take root and grow into the flowers of objective reality. Now let me be very specific about the technique itself. Tonight, when you retire to your bed, decide exactly what it is that you want to manifest in your life. It could be anything: a specific sum of money, a new home, a relationship, perfect health, a particular job or position. The nature of the desire is not important. What is important is the clarity with which you define it. Once you have decided upon your desire, construct in your mind's eye a scene which would imply that your desire has already been fulfilled. If it is wealth you seek, perhaps you would imagine yourself looking at a bank statement showing your desired balance. If it is health, you might imagine a doctor congratulating you on your perfect health. If it is a relationship, you could imagine yourself in a tender moment with your beloved. The scene you choose should be one that would naturally occur after your desire has been fulfilled. It should be brief, for the human mind cannot concentrate for long on a single image without wavering, and it should be as detailed and as sensory rich as you can make it. Now, as you lie in your bed, begin to relax your body completely. Start with your feet and work upward, consciously releasing tension from each part of your body. Take slow, deep breaths. Feel yourself becoming heavier and more peaceful with each exhalation. As your body relaxes, bring your chosen scene to mind. Enter into it as though you were entering a real physical environment. See the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the scents that would be present. And most importantly, feel the emotions you would feel if this scene were actually occurring right now. The feeling is the secret. You must feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. This feeling, this conviction of the reality of your imagined scene is what impresses your subconscious mind and sets in motion the chain of events that will lead to the objectification of your desire. As you continue to immerse yourself in this scene, feeling the reality of it, you will gradually drift towards sleep. Do not fight this drift. Welcome it. For as you cross the threshold into sleep with your imagined scene still vivid in your consciousness, you are planting the seed of your desire in the most fertile soil possible. And then, having done this, let go. Do not wake in the morning and immediately begin to question when or how your desire will manifest. Such questioning implies doubt. And doubt is the enemy of manifestation. Instead, carry with you throughout your day the quiet conviction that what you have imagined is now in the process of becoming a reality. You need not repeat this exercise indefinitely. A seed properly planted will grow of its own accord. In the same way, an impression properly made upon the subconscious mind will externalize itself without further effort on your part. Though if it brings you joy to repeat the exercise, by all means do so. Remember, the law of consciousness operates with perfect precision. Just as a farmer who plants corn can rest assured that corn, not wheat, will grow, so can you rest assured that the seed of your desire, properly planted in the fertile soil of subconscious mind, will grow into the harvest of your desire fulfilled? I have seen this principle work wonders in the lives of countless individuals. I have seen those who were destitute become wealthy, those who were ill become healthy, those who were lonely find love, and those who were failures become successes. In every case, the principle was the same. They impressed upon their subconscious minds, in the drowsy state before sleep, the feeling of their wishes fulfilled. Let me share another experience that illustrates this principle. A woman who attended my lectures was in a difficult marriage. Her husband was emotionally distant, critical, and unloving. Rather than focusing on his flaws, which would only perpetuate her undesirable situation, she decided to apply the principle I am sharing with you tonight. Each night, as she prepared for sleep, she would imagine a scene in which her husband was expressing love and appreciation for her. She would feel his arms around her, hear his loving words, and experience the joy of being in a harmonious relationship. Within a matter of weeks, her husband's attitude began to change. He became more attentive, more loving, more the man she had imagined him to be. Was it her husband who changed? Or was it her concept of her husband? I tell you, it was her concept. For everyone in your world is yourself pushed out. This brings me to another crucial aspect of this principle. You must take full responsibility for your life experience. If there are aspects of your life that you find unsatisfactory, know that they are the outpicturing of your own states of consciousness. Change the state of consciousness, and you change the outer manifestation. This is why it is so vital to be vigilant about what you allow to occupy your mind as you drift into sleep. If you fall asleep rehearsing your problems, reliving unpleasant experiences, or entertaining fears about the future, you are in effect asking the universe to give you more of the same. Your subconscious mind does not judge whether what you impress upon it is desirable or undesirable. It simply accepts and manifests. Therefore, regardless of how challenging your current circumstances may be, discipline yourself to enter the sleep state from a position of power and positivity. Imagine the best, feel the best, and that is what you will manifest. Now, some of you may be wondering, but what if I fall asleep before I complete my imaginal scene? Do not be concerned. Even a brief impression, if felt with intensity and conviction, is sufficient to impregnate the subconscious mind. In fact, falling asleep in the midst of your imaginal act is ideal, for it means that you have carried your impression across the threshold into the realm of the subconscious. Others may ask, how long will it take for my desire to manifest? This I cannot tell you, for time is a construct of the conscious mind, not the subconscious. Some desires manifest almost immediately, while others may take weeks, months, or even years. The important thing is to maintain your faith in the reality of your imaginal act and to live from the assumption that what you have imagined is now in the process of becoming a reality. I must also address another common concern. What if I have conflicting desires? This is indeed a challenging situation, for the subconscious mind, being impersonal, will faithfully manifest whatever is impressed upon it. If you impress conflicting desires, you will experience conflicting results, or possibly no results at all, as the opposing forces neutralize each other. Therefore, it is important to clarify your desires to ensure that they are in harmony with one another, and to focus on one primary desire. As that desire manifests, you can then turn your attention to the next. Let me also caution you against using this principle to manipulate or control others against their will. While it is true that everyone in your world is yourself pushed out, and you can therefore influence how others appear to you by changing your concept of them, it is not wise to use this principle with the specific intention of making others do your bidding. Instead, focus on the essence of what you desire, the feeling of being loved, of being respected, of being successful, of being healthy, and allow the universe to orchestrate the means by which these feelings are delivered to you. The universe, being infinite in potential, will often surprise you with manifestations far more wonderful than your limited conscious mind could have conceived. Now, let me address a question that often arises. What about collective events or circumstances that affect many people, such as economic conditions, natural disasters, or political situations? Can my individual consciousness override these collective manifestations? The answer, paradoxically, is both yes and no. Collective events are the outpicturing of collective consciousness, the sum total of all individual consciousnesses participating in that reality. As an individual, you may not be able to completely override a powerful collective manifestation. However, you can certainly determine how that manifestation affects you personally. For instance, during an economic downturn, while many may experience financial hardship, others continue to prosper. During a pandemic, while many may fall ill, others remain perfectly healthy. The difference lies in their states of consciousness, in the assumptions they hold about themselves and their relationship to the collective event. So regardless of what may be happening in the world at large, you have the power to determine your own experience by controlling the state of consciousness from which you view and interact with the world. And the most effective time to establish that state of consciousness is as you drift into sleep. I want to emphasize that this principle is not opposed to taking physical action toward your goals. Action is an important part of manifestation. However, the action must come from the right state of consciousness. Action taken from a state of lack, fear, or doubt will not produce the same results as action taken from a state of confidence, abundance, and faith. The proper sequence is: first, establish the state of consciousness through your imaginal work before sleep. Then, during your waking hours, take whatever actions you are inspired to take from that state of consciousness. These actions will feel natural and effortless, and they will be far more effective than actions forced from a state of anxiety or desperation. Let me illustrate this with another example. A man who attended my lectures desired a promotion at his company. Instead of anxiously striving and strategizing, he began to use the technique I am sharing with you tonight. Each night, as he prepared for sleep, he would imagine his colleagues congratulating him on his promotion. He would feel the handshakes, hear the congratulatory words, experience the pride and satisfaction of having achieved his goal. Within a few weeks, he found himself naturally taking actions at work that showcased his abilities and value to the company. He was more confident, more innovative, more engaged. And yes, he received the promotion he desired. But the crucial point is this: his actions flowed naturally from his changed state of consciousness, He did not have to force them. Now I want to address a deeper aspect of this principle. Thus far, I have spoken primarily about manifesting specific desires, specific objects, conditions, or circumstances. And while there is nothing wrong with such manifestations, I would be remiss if I did not point you toward an even higher application of this principle. Beyond the manifestation of specific things lies the manifestation of states of being. States such as peace, joy, love, abundance, and fulfillment. These states are not dependent on external circumstances. They are inherent qualities of your true self, your divine nature. When you use your pre-sleep period to enter into these states, regardless of your external circumstances, you are aligning with your true nature. And from this alignment flows a life of authentic happiness and fulfillment. Consider this. Many people achieve their specific desires only to find that the happiness they expected to accompany these achievements is fleeting at best. This is because they have not addressed their fundamental state of being. They have changed their outer world without changing their inner world. Therefore, I encourage you to use your pre-sleep period not only to imagine specific desires fulfilled, but also to cultivate states of being that are inherently fulfilling. Imagine yourself feeling utterly at peace, completely loved, infinitely abundant. These states, once established, will not only bring you immediate joy, but will also attract into your life the precise people, circumstances, and events that resonate with these states. Let me share a profound truth. The universe does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are. Your external reality is a precise mirror of your internal state. Therefore, the most powerful way to change your external reality is to change your internal state, to change what you are. And the most effective time to make this change is in the drowsy, receptive state before sleep. In this state, you can bypass the critical faculty of your conscious mind and impress your new state directly upon your subconscious mind, which then proceeds to express this state in your outer world. I have observed that many people struggle with maintaining their imaginal scenes as they approach sleep. Their minds wander, or they fall asleep before they can fully immerse themselves in their scenes. If you experience this challenge, do not be discouraged. Like any skill, this one improves with practice. Begin by selecting a scene that truly excites you, that captures your interest and emotion. It is easier to concentrate on something that genuinely moves you than on something that leaves you indifferent. Also, if your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your scene without self-criticism. Each time you do this, you strengthen your ability to concentrate. Over time, you will find that you can maintain your imaginal scenes with greater ease and for longer periods. Another helpful practice is to spend a few minutes during your day imagining your scene. This familiarizes your mind with the scene, making it easier to recall and maintain as you drift towards sleep. Remember, the key is not perfect concentration, but rather the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Even a brief moment of genuinely feeling as though your desire is already a reality can be sufficient to impress your conscious mind. Now, I want to share with you a refinement of this technique that many have found extremely effective. As you lie in bed, preparing for sleep, begin by expressing gratitude for all that you already have. This establishes a state of abundance and receptivity, making your subconscious mind more open to the impression of your desire. Then, rather than merely visualizing your scene, actually feel yourself physically performing the actions within the scene. If your scene involves shaking hands with someone congratulating you on your success, feel your hand in theirs. If it involves walking through your new home, feel your feet making contact with the floor. This physical dimension adds a layer of reality to your imaginal act that powerfully impresses your subconscious mind. And as you immerse yourself in your scene, pay particular attention to the emotions you would feel if your desire were already fulfilled. Emotion is the propulsive force behind manifestation. A scene felt with intense emotion will manifest far more quickly and precisely than one merely visualized without emotional content. Let me emphasize once more. The feeling is the secret. When you can genuinely feel the reality or imagine seeing, when you can live within that scene as though it were physically present, you have mastered the art of manifestation. I have sometimes been asked, is there anything I should avoid as I drift into sleep? Yes, there are certain mental states that are counterproductive for manifestation. Avoid falling asleep in a state of worry, anger, fear, or resentment. These states just of joy, confidence, and gratitude will be impressed upon your subconscious mind and will manifest in your outer world. If you find yourself in a negative state as you prepare for sleep, take a few moments to shift your focus. You might recall a happy memory, contemplate something you appreciate, or simply focus on the rhythm of your breath. Any of these can help you transition from a negative to a neutral or positive state. I want to address another question that often arises. What about manifesting for others? Can I use this technique to help someone else? The answer is yes, but with an important qualification. When you imagine something for another person, you are not actually changing them. You are changing your concept of them. And since everyone in your world is yourself, pushed out a reflection of your own states of consciousness, changing your concept of someone will indeed result in them appearing differently to you. However, this does not override their free will. What you are doing is creating a version of them in your reality that aligns with your new concept. Whether they choose to embody that version in their own separate reality is up to them. So yes, you can imagine wonderful things for others, and you will indeed see those wonderful things manifest in your experience of them. But approach this with respect for their autonomy, holding the intention that your imaginal act serves their highest good. Now let me share with you an observation that may assist you in maintaining faith in this principle, even when outer circumstances seem to contradict your inner assumption. Manifestation often unfolds through what I call the bridge of incidents, a series of seemingly unrelated events that, in retrospect, can be seen as the perfect pathway to the fulfillment of your desire. During this bridge of incidents, it may sometimes appear as though things are moving in the opposite direction of your desire. An opportunity may fall through, a relationship may end, a project may fail. In such moments, it is crucial to maintain your faith in the reality of your imaginal act. These apparent setbacks are often the universe rearranging itself to deliver your desire in a way that your limited conscious mind could not have conceived. The job opportunity that falls through makes way for a far better one. The relationship that ends creates space for your ideal partner. The project that fails leads to a more innovative and successful approach. This is why blind faith maintained despite contradictory evidence is so powerful in manifestation. When you can hold steadfastly to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, regardless of outer appearances, you allow the bridge of incidents to unfold without interference from your doubts and fears. I encourage you to view the manifestation process as an adventure, a journey of discovery. Embrace the unexpected turns, trust the process, and know that every event, no matter how it appears in the moment, is leading you toward the fulfillment of your desire. Let me also address the concept of timing in manifestation. Many become discouraged when their desires do not manifest according to their preferred timeline. They wonder if they have done something wrong or if the principle itself is flawed. I assure you the principle is infallible. If you have genuinely impressed your subconscious mind with the feeling of your wish fulfilled, manifestation is inevitable. The timing, however, is not always within your conscious control. Your desire will manifest when all the necessary elements have aligned, when the bridge of incidents has been completed. This timing is determined by factors beyond your conscious awareness. The intricate web of relationships between all the people, circumstances, and events involved in your manifestation. Therefore, rather than fixating on when your desire will manifest, focus on maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Live each day from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. In this way, you align yourself with the natural flow of manifestation, neither rushing it nor impeding it with your anxieties. I have observed that desires often manifest in what I call the Sabbath state of complete rest from your desire. This occurs when you have so thoroughly convinced yourself of the reality of your desire that you no longer feel any anxiety or urgency about it. You simply know that it is yours. And this knowing is so complete that the desire itself fades from your conscious attention. In this state of rest, of Sabbath, manifestation often occurs with breathtaking speed and precision. So if you find that your desire has faded from your conscious thoughts, do not be concerned. This may well be the Sabbath that precedes manifestation. As we approach the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize once more the fundamental principle at work here. Consciousness is the only reality, and your consciousness is the operant power in your world. What you assume to be true, what you feel to be real, will inevitably manifest in your outer experience. The drowsy state before sleep offers a unique opportunity to impress new assumptions upon your subconscious mind. In this state, when your conscious reasoning mind is at its least resistant, you can plant the seeds of your desires with extraordinary effectiveness. But remember, this principle is not limited to the pre-sleep state. It operates in every moment of your existence. Every state of consciousness that you occupy, whether in wakefulness or in sleep, is contributing to the creation of your reality. Therefore, I encourage you to be mindful of your states of consciousness throughout your state day. Are you dwelling in states of lack, fear, or resentment? Or are you dwelling in states of abundance, love? Whatever state you occupy will, with mathematical precision, be reflected in your outer experience. And when you retire to your bed each night, use that precious interval between wakefulness and sleep to deliberately enter a state that aligns with your desires. Feel as though what you want is already yours. Fall asleep in the conviction of its reality, and watch as the universe rearranges itself to accommodate your new state of consciousness. I tell you with absolute certainty, master this principle, and you will master your life. For when you understand and apply the law of consciousness, when you recognize your imagination as the creative power that it is, you become the deliberate creator of your own destiny. So tonight, as you prepare for sleep, decide what it is that you truly desire. Construct a scene that implies the fulfillment of that desire. Enter into that scene feeling its reality with all your senses. Fall asleep in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. And know with unwavering faith that what you have imagined is now in the process of becoming your physical reality. For this is the true meaning of the scripture. Whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. Your imagination is the prayer. Your feeling is the belief. And your outer world is the receipt. Go now and create consciously. Go now and manifest deliberately. Go now and live the life you desire, for all things are possible to him who believes. Remember, the universe does not respond to your words or your wishes. It responds to your consciousness, to your state of being. And the state of being you enter as you drift into sleep is the most powerful of all. Tonight, ask the universe for what you desire by entering the state of consciousness that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. Feel it, live it, be it. And then release it to the unfailing law of consciousness, knowing that what you have planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind must, by law, grow into the harvest of your desire fulfilled. This is the way. This is the truth. This is the life.
Every great journey begins with a single step, but the direction of that step determines the destiny of the traveler. As we stand at the threshold of a new year, there is no greater assurance, no more profound confidence than to align our hearts with the one who holds time and eternity in his hands. The start of a year is not just a chronological shift, it is a divine opportunity to set the tone for everything that is to come. It is a moment to invite God's presence to lead us, guide us, and infuse every area of our lives with his wisdom and power. When we begin with God, we begin with purpose. Everything in creation has a reason for existence, and so do you. Your presence in this year is not a mistake or an accident. It is a part of a divine plan, intricately woven by the Creator. Acknowledging this truth allows you to move forward with intentionality, seeking God's guidance in every decision and trusting that he has prepared a path for you to walk in victory. To begin with God's blessing is to surrender to his authority. Surrender is not a sign of weakness but of trust. It is saying, God, I trust your will above my own. This act of humility positions you to receive his wisdom, for the scriptures remind us that his ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. When we lean not on our understanding but acknowledge him in all our ways, he promises to make our path straight. God's blessings are not only spiritual but also practical. They touch every aspect of our lives, our relationships, our work, our health, and our purpose. However, his blessings often require our obedience. To be blessed by God is to walk in his principles, to live according to his word. The principles of stewardship, integrity, generosity, and faithfulness are not just spiritual ideals, they are keys that unlock the fullness of his favor. When we align our actions with his truth, we position ourselves under an open heaven where his blessings can flow freely. As the year unfolds, challenges will come. Obstacles will rise, and moments of doubt may whisper that the path is too hard. But starting with God's blessing equips you with the strength to persevere. His blessing is not the absence of trials, but the assurance of his presence in the midst of them. It is his promise to walk with you through the fire, to sustain you through the storm, and to bring you out stronger on the other side. Faith is the foundation of God's blessing. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. For faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. This year, dare to dream bold dreams. Step out in faith, knowing that God is not only able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you ask or think, but that he desires to partner with you to see his will fulfilled in your life. Faith activates his promises, and his promises are unshakable. To begin with God's blessing is to begin with gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, reminding us that every good and perfect gift comes from above. It creates an atmosphere where his presence is welcomed and his blessings are multiplied. A grateful heart acknowledges that we are not self-made but God-made, sustained by his grace and empowered by his Spirit. This year, let every plan, every goal, and every aspiration be laid at the feet of the one who knows the end from the beginning. Trust him to direct your steps and align your desires with his purpose. In doing so, you will not only start the year with his blessing, but walk through it with his favor, ending it with the testimony of his faithfulness. To truly begin your year with God's blessing is to commit every moment to him as an act of worship. Worship is not confined to songs or church services, it is a lifestyle. It is living in constant awareness of God's presence, acknowledging him in every decision, and aligning your daily actions with his will. Worship brings a unique kind of blessing because it draws you closer to the heart of God. The closer you are to him, the more you begin to understand his plans for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. The power of starting with God's blessing lies in the foundation it sets. A house built on sand cannot withstand the storms, but one built on the rock will endure. God is that rock. When your foundation is his word, your life becomes unshakable. His word is full of promises that provide stability, guidance, and hope. Meditating on his word daily is not just a discipline, it is an invitation to align your spirit with his truth. This alignment transforms your thinking, renews your mind, and positions you to see circumstances from his perspective rather than your own. Beginning your year with God's blessing also means embracing the power of prayer. Prayer is not just a ritual or a religious act, it is a conversation with the Creator of the universe. It is your lifeline, your connection to the source of all power and wisdom. Through prayer, you gain clarity for your decisions, strength for your challenges, and peace for your heart. Prayer is where you download divine strategies for earthly problems. It is in the secret place of prayer that God reveals his plans for your life and equips you with the courage to pursue them. When you start your year with God's blessing, you must also be prepared for the process of refinement. God's blessings often come with a season of preparation. He does not bless us to remain stagnant, he blesses us to grow, to flourish, and to become more like him. Growth requires pruning, and pruning can be uncomfortable. It might involve letting go of habits, relationships, or mindsets that no longer serve his purpose for your life. But the pain of pruning always leads to greater fullness. Trust that his hands, even when they prune, are always working for your good. God's blessing is intricately tied to the principle of stewardship. Everything you have, your time, talents, resources, and opportunities, is a gift from him. Starting the year with his blessing requires a commitment to steward these gifts wisely. Stewardship is not about ownership, it is about management. It is recognizing that everything you have belongs to God, and that you are merely a caretaker of his blessings. When you manage what He has entrusted to you with faithfulness and excellence, He multiplies it. The parable of the talents teaches us that God rewards those who are diligent and responsible with what they have been given. As you step into the year, it is also essential to understand the role of obedience in unlocking God's blessings. Obedience is better than sacrifice, for it reflects a heart fully surrendered to His will. There will be moments when God asks you to step out in faith, to move in a direction that feels uncertain, or to let go of something you hold dear. Obedience in these moments is not just about following a command, it is about trusting the heart of the one who commands. Every act of obedience is a seed that produces a harvest of blessing in due season. God's blessing is not limited to individual gain, it is meant to overflow into the lives of others. When you begin your year with His blessing, you must also embrace the responsibility to be a blessing. This is the essence of His covenant with Abraham, that through him all nations would be blessed. Look for opportunities to serve, to give, and to uplift those around you. The more you pour into others, the more God pours into you. Generosity is a channel through which His blessings flow, and it is a reflection of His character in you. This year, choose to walk in faith rather than fear. Fear paralyzes, but faith propels. Fear focuses on what could go wrong, while faith declares that with God all things are possible. Fear sees giants, faith sees the promise beyond the giants. To begin with God's blessing is to embrace a mindset of faith, believing that He who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. Faith is not just believing in God's power, it is trusting in His timing. It is resting in the assurance that even when you do not see the full picture, He is working all things together for your good. Another vital aspect of starting your year with God's blessing is cultivating a spirit of gratitude and praise. Gratitude is a key that unlocks more of His blessings. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, creating an atmosphere of contentment and joy. Praise, on the other hand, is a weapon of warfare. It silences the enemy and ushers in the presence of God. When you make praise and gratitude your lifestyle, you set the tone for a year filled with His favor and joy. God's blessings are often accompanied by divine opportunities. These opportunities may come disguised as challenges or require you to step out of your comfort zone. To begin with His blessing is to have the discernment to recognize these moments and the courage to act on them. Divine opportunities are not always convenient, but they are always significant. They are invitations to partner with God in accomplishing His purposes on earth. When you seize these moments with faith and boldness, you align yourself with His divine agenda. Starting your year with God's blessing also means guarding your heart. The heart is the wellspring of life, and everything you do flows from it. Protect your heart from bitterness, unforgiveness, and negativity. Choose to fill it with God's word, His promises, and His love. A guarded heart is a fertile ground for His blessings to take root and bear fruit. When your heart is aligned with His, you become a vessel through which His light shines brightly in the world. Beginning the year with God's blessing calls for a commitment to live with purpose. Purpose gives meaning to your days and direction to your efforts. It anchors you in the storms of life and fuels your perseverance in the face of obstacles. Your purpose is not just about personal success, it is about fulfilling the role God has designed uniquely for you. When you walk in your purpose, you glorify Him and become a beacon of hope and inspiration to others. As the days of this year unfold, let your focus remain on God. Trust His plans, follow His principles, and rest in His promises. The one who holds the universe together is the same one who holds your life in His hands. When you begin with His blessing, you are not just starting a new year, you are stepping into the fullness of His purpose and the abundance of His favor. To begin your year with God's blessing is to recognize that every new day is a gift, an opportunity to experience His grace in a fresh way. Each moment that unfolds carries with it the potential for divine transformation, and it is by His grace that we are empowered to seize each of these moments with faith and courage. Our strength does not come from our own abilities, but from the unshakable foundation that God's blessing provides. His blessing equips us not only to face the challenges ahead, but also to thrive in the midst of them. This is the true power of walking in the blessing of the Lord. It turns every challenge into a stepping stone toward greater victory. In a world where distractions and obstacles often seem overwhelming, beginning with God's blessing helps us maintain focus. Life's complexities can make us lose sight of what truly matters, but when we anchor ourselves in His blessing, we recalibrate our hearts and minds toward His eternal purposes. Each decision we make, every path we choose, can either lead us closer to or further away from God's perfect will. But by starting with His blessing, we acknowledge His presence and guidance in every area of our lives. This awareness brings clarity, and clarity brings purpose. Without it, we may wander aimlessly, but with it, every step we take is intentional. Every choice becomes a declaration of faith, and every action aligns with His eternal plan. When you begin your year with God's blessing, you invite Him to be the center of your relationships. Relationships, whether with family, friends, or colleagues, are critical in our journey through life. It is through relationships that we learn, grow, and experience love. God designed us to live in community, and His blessing enables these relationships to be built on the foundation of His love. Beginning with His blessing means committing to be a reflection of His love in all of your interactions. This is not always easy, especially when misunderstandings and conflicts arise. Yet it is in these very moments that God's blessing provides the strength to forgive, to reconcile, and to love unconditionally. His love empowers us to break the cycle of offense and bitterness that so often disrupts relationships, and instead it ushers in peace and unity. Moreover, God's blessing transforms our work and our purpose. Every individual has a unique calling, a divine assignment that is part of God's greater plan. Many people struggle to find fulfillment in their work because they do not see it as a part of their divine purpose. However, when you begin the year with God's blessing, you acknowledge that your work is not just a means to an end, but an opportunity to serve His kingdom. Whether you are a teacher, a doctor, a business owner, a parent, or any other profession, your work is a platform to reflect God's glory. It is through work that we express our God-given gifts, talents, and abilities, and it is through our work that we can make a lasting impact on the world. Starting with God's blessing opens our eyes to the deeper significance of what we do. We begin to see our tasks, no matter how small, as meaningful contributions to His eternal purposes. Equally important is the understanding that God's blessing extends to our health. Our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, and as such they deserve to be treated with honor and respect. When we begin the year with God's blessing, we invite His wisdom into how we care for ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically. God desires for us to be in good health because He knows that when we are strong in body and mind, we can fulfill our purpose more effectively. Often we neglect our physical well-being, but God's blessing equips us to prioritize our health, knowing that it is essential for the life He has called us to lead. By adopting a lifestyle that honors our bodies, we are positioning ourselves to be vessels through which His power can flow freely. As you reflect on this new year, it is also crucial to understand the profound impact of starting with God's blessing in the way you handle your finances. Money is not the root of all evil, the love of money is. The key is in how we handle it. God blesses us financially so that we may bless others. When we start with God's blessing, we view our finances not as a means of self-serving, but as a tool to advance His kingdom. Stewardship of our resources is an essential part of fulfilling God's plan, and He blesses those who use their finances wisely, generously, and in alignment with His will. By practicing generosity, honoring God with our tithes, and being wise stewards of the resources He provides, we allow His blessings to flow through us, enriching both our lives and the lives of others. Beginning the year with God's blessing is also about understanding His eternal perspective. It can be easy to get caught up in the short-term struggles and challenges that come with life. But God's blessing allows us to rise above the temporary frustrations and see things from an eternal vantage point. We are not merely living for the here and now, but are called to live in such a way that our lives reflect the values of the kingdom of heaven. This eternal perspective shifts our priorities and alters the way we live. We become more focused on storing treasures in heaven than in earthly pursuits, knowing that our ultimate reward lies beyond this world. This perspective enables us to endure hardships with grace, knowing that they are momentary and light compared to the glory that will be revealed in us. To live with God's blessing is to understand that you are not in control of everything, but that He is. This realization brings peace. It means that you do not have to carry the burden of the future or the weight of your circumstances alone. It means that no matter what happens this year, God is already ahead of you, preparing the way, and He will be with you every step of the journey. This peace that comes from knowing that God is in control helps you to navigate the uncertainties of life with confidence. The storms may rage, the winds may howl, but you are anchored in the one who calms the storm. Starting the year with God's blessing means stepping into the unknown with a heart full of trust, knowing that He holds you in the palm of His hand. God's blessing is a manifestation of His love and faithfulness, and to begin with His blessing is to trust in the fullness of His character. God is good and His goodness is unchanging. His blessings are not earned through striving or self-effort. They are freely given out of His love for us. It is this love that compels us to live in a way that honors Him. When we understand the depth of God's goodness toward us, we are motivated not by obligation but by a heart of gratitude. Gratitude turns our eyes toward Him, causing us to walk in humility, acknowledging that we are nothing without His grace. As we move forward into this year, let this heart of gratitude fuel every action, every word, and every thought. Each day of the year is an opportunity to witness the goodness of God in our lives. Starting with God's blessing positions us to experience His love in every moment, to see His hand at work in both the ordinary and the extraordinary. This blessing transforms the way we view the world. It allows us to see the beauty in the mundane, the divine in the everyday. When we are tuned into God's blessing, we can see His fingerprints on everything around us, from the rising of the sun to the people we encounter throughout the day. His presence becomes a constant companion, guiding us, empowering us, and filling us with joy. As we continue on this journey, let the beginning of the year mark not just a change in time, but a change in perspective. Let it be a season where you lean fully into God's blessing, trusting that He will lead you into greater levels of abundance, fulfillment, and purpose. In every area of your life, from your relationships to your work, from your health to your finances, allow God's blessing to be the foundation upon which everything is built. And as you do, you will begin to experience the fullness of life, that He promises, a life that is overflowing with His goodness, grace, and favor. When you begin the year with God's blessing, you align yourself with a divine purpose that transcends your own understanding. This alignment is not simply a passive acceptance, but an active decision to acknowledge that God's plans for you are greater than anything you can imagine. To begin with His blessing is to say, God, I trust You with my life. I trust You with my future, my relationships, my work, and my heart. In doing so, you are surrendering your own will in favor of the divine blueprint that He has uniquely designed for you. There is power in this surrender. Often we resist surrender because it feels like losing control. However, surrender in God's hands is not a loss, but a gain. It is a transfer of responsibility from carrying the weight of life's struggles on your own shoulders to letting God bear the burden. He has never meant for you to carry that weight. He has never intended for you to walk this path alone. Starting the year with God's blessing allows you to let go of the anxieties, worries, and burdens that have weighed you down in the past, knowing that you are walking in His perfect peace. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that guards your heart and mind, no matter what life throws your way. God's blessing does not just offer peace. In the midst of uncertainty, it offers provision. Provision is not just about material resources, though God certainly provides for our needs. True provision extends far beyond finances and the physical realm. It encompasses emotional strength, spiritual fortitude, and the wisdom to make sound decisions. When you begin the year with God's blessing, you open yourself to receive His provision in all its forms. You are equipped with the wisdom to navigate challenges, the strength to face adversity, and the grace to endure hardships. The challenges you face in life are never a sign that God has abandoned you. On the contrary, they are an opportunity for His provision to manifest in deeper, more profound ways. And when you recognize His provision, You begin to see every moment as a chance to experience His presence in tangible ways. The way God blesses you is often not in the ways you expect. Our finite minds cannot always comprehend how God works, but His ways are always higher, and His thoughts are always greater. This understanding opens the door to trust in His perfect timing. Starting the year with God's blessing means you are trusting that His timing is flawless, even when you don't understand why things are unfolding the way they are. It is easy to want to rush through life, to seek instant results, but God works in seasons. Each season has a purpose, and each season brings with it unique lessons. Beginning the year with His blessing is a declaration that you are willing to trust God with the process, knowing that each step, each moment, each day is a part of a greater story He is writing for you. Trusting God's timing means acknowledging that there will be times when things don't go according to your plan. But it also means believing that His plan is better. When things don't go as expected, it's important to remember that God's delay is not His denial. Sometimes the blessings we seek need time to unfold, and sometimes God needs to prepare us for what's ahead. What appears to be a delay might actually be divine protection or a time of growth and development. The process of waiting is not wasted. It is often the most transformative period in your life, as it shapes your character, strengthens your faith, and deepens your reliance on God's provision. Starting the year with God's blessing means embracing His timing, knowing that He is always working things out for your good. In this journey, you may encounter seasons of silence. In those quiet moments when it seems as though God is not speaking, remember that His silence is not absence. His presence is always with you, even when you cannot hear Him. The silence is a space for you to trust, to grow in your relationship with Him, and to learn to walk by faith, not by sight. When you begin the year with God's blessing, you are also committing to trust Him in the silence, knowing that His word is a lamp to your feet, guiding you step by step, even when you cannot see the full picture. Trusting in God's unseen work will allow you to walk by faith, not by feelings. Feelings come and go, but faith in God's promises remains constant. Your relationship with God deepens as you trust Him in both the active and silent seasons. There are times when He calls you to step out in faith, to move beyond your comfort zone, and to take risks for His kingdom. These are the moments when His blessing becomes a powerful catalyst for transformation. When you step out in obedience to His call, you unlock the full potential of His blessing in your life. It is in these moments of obedience, when you align your actions with His will, that you experience the fullness of His power. Whether He calls you to move to a new location, to start a new project, or to serve in a new capacity, stepping out in obedience activates His favor. It is in these moments that you witness the miraculous, as God makes a way where there seems to be no way. As you move forward into the new year with God's blessing, remember that His favor will not only be with you, but will extend to those around you. God's blessings are never meant to be hoarded, they are meant to be shared. When you begin your year with His blessing, you also become a vessel of blessing to others. This is the heart of God's kingdom, to bless others, to serve others, to show His love in tangible ways. As you move forward, be open to the opportunities He places before you to bless those in need. Whether it's a word of encouragement, a financial gift, or a simple act of kindness, you are called to be a conduit of God's blessings. The more you give, the more you receive, not just in material things, but in love, joy, and peace. God blesses you so that you can be a blessing to the world. God's blessings are not just for your personal gain, they are for His glory. When you begin the year with God's blessing, you are declaring that your life is a testimony of His goodness and faithfulness. Your life becomes a reflection of His love, grace, and mercy. People around you will see the favor of God in your life and will be drawn to His presence through you. Your success, your health, your relationships, and your peace all serve as a testament to His power at work in your life. Beginning the year with God's blessing means positioning yourself to be a light in a dark world. You are called to be a city on a hill, a beacon of hope and truth that draws others to the light of Christ. As you continue throughout the year, remember that the blessings of God are not just for you to experience individually, but are meant to impact the world around you. The more you seek His blessing, the more you will find that you are being transformed from the inside out. The blessing of God touches every area of your life, bringing forth growth, fruitfulness, and abundance. Your life becomes a garden of blessing, where His love, peace, and joy are cultivated and shared with others. Starting the year with God's blessing means choosing to live a life of intentionality, of purpose, and of faith. It means recognizing that every moment is a gift, every opportunity is an invitation to step into His plan, and every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger in your trust in Him. God's blessing is not just about what He can give you, it is about what He can do through you. It is about aligning your heart and your actions with His will, knowing that as you seek His kingdom first, all these things will be added to you. When you begin with His blessing, you are stepping into a life of abundant fulfillment, a life that is rich with His presence and overflowing with His love. Every new year is a blank canvas, and with God's blessing, you have the divine opportunity to paint a masterpiece that reflects His glory. As you move through this year, step by step, let His blessing guide you, empower you, and transform you into the person He has called you to be. The year ahead holds endless possibilities, and when you begin with His blessing, you are walking into a future filled with purpose, peace, and prosperity. In conclusion, beginning your year with God's blessing is not just a ritual, it is a powerful declaration of faith, trust, and surrender to His perfect will. It is an invitation for His peace, provision, and presence to guide you every step of the way. As you start this new year, remember that you are not walking alone. God's blessing will equip you with everything you need to face challenges, embrace opportunities, and fulfill your divine purpose. His timing is perfect, His provision is abundant, and His love is unshakable. As you journey forward, be a vessel of His blessing to others, and let your life reflect His glory in all that you do. With God's blessing, the year ahead is filled with limitless possibilities, and as you align yourself with His will, you will experience a year of transformation, growth, and fulfillment beyond what you could ever imagine. Trust in His plan and step into the future He has prepared for you, knowing that His blessing is already at work in your life.
The power to completely revolutionize your life in ways you have never imagined possible. Consider for a moment the concept of time. You may perceive it as a linear progression with change occurring gradually over days, weeks, or years. But I say unto you, true transformation, the kind that alters the very fabric of your reality, can occur in a single night, in a single moment of focused imagination and unwavering belief. But what does it truly mean to say that you will never be the same again after just one night? It is not a matter of external circumstances magically changing while you sleep. It is a state of consciousness, a shift in your very being that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that your consciousness, your awareness of being, is the only reality, and that a profound shift in this awareness can and will transform your entire world. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world, your concept of self. And this concept of self can be radically altered in a single night through the power of your imagination. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by carefully choosing and vividly imagining a new state of being for a single night, you are actively creating a new reality that will unfold in your experience. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach change and transformation. No longer are you a helpless being at the mercy of time and circumstance, hoping for gradual improvement. You become the active creator of your reality, knowing that as you assume a new state of being in your imagination, for a single night, the universe must rearrange itself to match this new inner assumption. But how, you may ask, can one night have such a profound and lasting impact? The answer lies in the creative power of your wonderful human imagination, combined with the intensity of your feeling and belief. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker, and your feelings are not mere reactions to external stimuli. Together they form the very workshop in which reality is forged. Let us take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and feel as true and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true in your imaginal acts. And once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality, regardless of how long it takes in clock time. So when you spend a single night wholly absorbed in the feeling of being your ideal self, when you fall asleep in the absolute conviction that you are now the person you desire to be, you are not engaging in wishful thinking or self-deception. You are actively creating your new reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you and for you. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of how one night can change everything. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your reality lies within you, waiting to be expressed through your conscious imaginal acts. It is about understanding that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner concept of self, which can be radically altered in a single focused night of imagination. Consider the biblical phrase, "In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, we shall all be changed." This is not a mere poetic expression or a promise of some future event. It is a statement of cosmic law, an invitation to recognize the power of a single moment of transformed consciousness. When you truly embody a new state in your imagination, when you feel this reality with every fiber of your being, you are changed in that very moment. The outer manifestation may take time to catch up, but the inner transformation is instantaneous. But let me be clear, this one night of transformation is not about forced visualizations or strained affirmations. It is about a total immersion in the feeling of being your ideal self. When you truly embody this practice, you naturally assume the thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations of the person you desire to be. You go to sleep not as the person you've always been, but as the person you've always wanted to be. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a person who has always struggled with confidence and self-worth. For years, their inner dialogue has been filled with self-doubt and limitation. Now, imagine this person deciding to spend one night fully embodying the state of unshakable confidence and self-assurance. As they lie in bed, they immerse themselves in the feeling of being a confident, worthy individual. They feel the peace, the certainty, the inner strength of someone who truly believes in themselves. They allow this feeling to permeate every cell of their being. They fall asleep in this state, carrying it into their dreams. When they awaken, something has shifted. They may not see immediate external changes, but internally, they are no longer the same person. They have experienced the reality of being confident and worthy, and this new self-concept begins to reshape their outer world. In the days and weeks that follow, they find themselves naturally acting with more confidence. They speak up in situations where they would have previously remained silent. They pursue opportunities they would have once thought beyond their reach. And as they do so, their outer world begins to reflect this new inner state. People respond to them differently. New doors open. Their entire life begins to transform, all stemming from that one night of focused imagination. This principle applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you desire success, love, health, or any other state of being, the key is to spend one night fully embodying that state in your imagination. Feel the reality of being successful, loved, healthy. Fall asleep in that state, knowing that as you do so, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind that must grow into your outer reality. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, can one night really make such a difference? Surely lasting change requires more time and effort. And to this I say, time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of consciousness where all creation takes place, there is only the eternal now. One night of fully embodying a new state can indeed reshape your entire future. for it plants a seed of a new self-concept that will inevitably grow into manifestation. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness, your concept of self, that gives life to your experiences. When you spend one night fully embodying a new state of being, you are breathing life into a new reality. You are setting in motion a series of events that must culminate in the outer expression of this new inner state. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to how one night can change everything. It is about aligning your entire being with a new concept of self, recognizing that this new self is seeking expression through you, and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your focused imagination and unwavering belief. But let me warn you, this one night of transformation is not always an easy task. The old habits of thought and feeling, the familiar self-concept you've held for so long, may try to reassert themselves. As you lie in bed, attempting to embody your new, ideal state, doubts may creep in. The voice of your old self may try to convince you that change is impossible, that you're fooling yourself. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to the feeling of your new desired state of being. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want to be, but by persistently embodying what you do want to be. This persistence, this unwavering commitment to maintaining your new state of being throughout the night, in the face of doubts and contrary evidence, is what allows you to truly change your life in a single night. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality or forcefully push away doubts and fears. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of your desired state of being to align your entire consciousness with the person you wish to become. This tuning is done through your focused imagination and your ability to generate and maintain the feeling of your desired state. Your imagination is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you use your imagination to fully embody your ideal state, as you feel the reality of being this new version of yourself, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, while the inner transformation can occur in a single night, the full manifestation of this change in your outer world may take time. The seed planted in one night of focused imagination will grow, but it must go through its natural stages of development. Do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate, dramatic changes in your external circumstances. Know that the moment you succeeded in fully embodying your new state, even for that one night, change became inevitable. As you persist in maintaining this new state in your daily life, you will find that your perception of yourself and your world begins to shift. What once seemed like limitations now appear as opportunities for growth. Challenges become stepping stones to success. You begin to see yourself as the empowered, ideal being you imagined yourself to be on that transformative night. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I ensure that I maintain this new state beyond that one night? How can I prevent falling back into old patterns? And to this I say the power of that one night lies not just in the intensity of the experience, but in the knowing it brings. Once you have experienced the reality of your ideal state, even if only in your imagination, you have tasted the truth of your divine nature. This knowing becomes an anchor, a reference point to which you can always return. In the days and weeks that follow your transformative night, you may face moments of doubt or challenge. In these moments, recall the feeling of that night. Remember the reality of being your ideal self. Let that memory, that knowing guide you back to your new state of being. For having experienced it once, you can experience it again and again, each time strengthening your new self-concept, The key is to make your imaginal experience as real and vivid as possible. Engage all your senses. As you lie in bed preparing for your night of transformation, see yourself as the person you desire to be. Hear the congratulations and admiration of others. Feel the confidence, the joy, the fulfillment of being this ideal version of yourself. Make it so real that your rational mind cannot distinguish between this imaginal act and physical reality. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to imagine specific events or circumstances. The goal is to embody the essence of your desired state of being. For it is this state of being that is the true attractor of your experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. Instead of imagining yourself receiving a specific job offer or a particular sum of money, embody the state of being successful and financially abundant. Feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with this state. Instead of picturing a specific romantic partner, embody the state of being deeply loved and in a fulfilling relationship. Feel the love, the connection, the happiness of this state. By focusing on the state of being rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your desires to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of transformation in a single night. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something against all evidence. It's about aligning your entire being with the truth of your divine nature, your oneness with the creative power of the universe. It's about spending one night fully embodying the highest vision of who you truly are. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps you start to feel more confident and empowered. Or you find yourself naturally making choices that align with your new self-concept. Or opportunities that resonate with your new state of being seem to appear out of nowhere. These are all signs that your inner transformation, initiated in that one powerful night, is creating ripples in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your night of transformation has taken root. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to live from your new state of being. As you persist in this practice, larger changes will begin to manifest. You may find yourself naturally attracting experiences that align with your new self-concept. You may notice that your relationships improve, that your career takes off, that your health flourishes. And as you continue to maintain the state you embodied on that transformative night, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure of ever-expanding possibilities. But remember, the outer manifestation is not the goal. The goal is the state of being from which all desired experiences naturally flow. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you've truly transformed in that one night, when you're fully living from your new state of being, you no longer need external circumstances to confirm your transformation. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that you are the person you've imagined yourself to be. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life that reflects your ideal self-concept. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to bring about change? And to this I say, yes, action is part of the process. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you've spent a night fully embodying your ideal state, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. They will be the natural outgrowth of your new state of being. This is the difference between trying to make change happen and allowing it to happen. When you're trying to force transformation, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and doubt. When you've truly embodied a new state of being, actions flow naturally from your aligned state. guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly how to bring about the manifestation of your transformation. Consider the example of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. The caterpillar doesn't strain to become a butterfly. It doesn't force itself to grow wings. It simply enters the cocoon and allows the transformation to occur. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you enter the cocoon of your imagination for that one transformative night, embodying your ideal state, you allow your transformation to unfold naturally and beautifully, expressing the infinite potential that is your birthright. But let me be clear, this state of allowing is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate and focused embodiment of your ideal state. It requires faith, not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your consciousness and your ability to transform in a single night. This faith is not about believing that change will come someday in the future. It's about knowing that the change has already occurred in that one night of transformation, and that your outer world must inevitably conform to this new inner reality. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in living from the state you embodied in that one night, you'll begin to see evidence of your transformation manifesting in your outer world. These signs may start small. A newfound confidence in a situation that would have previously intimidated you, a flash of insight that leads to a breakthrough, an unexpected opportunity that aligns perfectly with your new self-concept. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner transformation initiated in that one powerful night is indeed shaping your outer reality. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of the transformed life you have created. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching. Many worry that focusing on personal transformation in this way might somehow make them selfish or disconnected from others. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you truly understand the principle of transformation through focused imagination, you realize that you are not separate from others. As you elevate your own consciousness through your imaginal acts, you are elevating the consciousness of all. Your personal transformation, far from disconnecting you from others, actually expands the field of possibilities for all. Moreover, when you are coming from a place of being your ideal self, you naturally have more to give to others. You become a beacon of possibility, a living example of the power of consciousness to reshape reality. Your transformation creates a ripple effect, touching the lives of everyone you encounter with your newfound energy, confidence, and joy. This is the true gift of transforming yourself in a single night. It's not just about improving your individual circumstances, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental nature of the universe, which is boundless potential and perpetual creation. It's about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment of living from the transformation you experienced in that one powerful night, you become a channel for the most beautiful expressions of life. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from your transformed state of being. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness when it's aligned with the truth of your being. You are the power. You are the magic. You are the one who has transformed yourself in that single focused night of imagination. As we draw our time together to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, just one night, and you will never be the same again, is not just a technique for personal change. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine, creative being. It's about aligning your entire being with the fundamental truth of who you are and allowing your grandest expression to flow through you. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place filled with infinite possibilities. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling to change. Instead, you recognize yourself as the author of your own transformation, the creator of your own reality. In this state, there's no need to fear change or doubt your ability to transform, for you understand that you are the source of all transformation. Your job is simply to enter that state of forced imagination for one night, to live from that transformed consciousness, and to allow the universe to arrange the details of its manifestation. So, my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Don't see it as a technique to be applied occasionally, but as a way of life to be lived continuously. Use your mighty imagination to immerse yourself fully in your ideal state of being. Feel the naturalness of being the transformed, empowered being you truly are. Live from this state, persist in this knowing, and watch as your world rearranges itself to match your inner transformation. Remember, you are not a limited being struggling to change. You are the infinite consciousness, choosing to experience transformation from this particular vantage point. Your focused night of imagination is the tool through which you shape your experience. Use it wisely with the awareness of your true nature and the responsibility that comes with it. Go forth and create a transformed, fulfilling life that is your birthright, knowing that with each night spent in focused imagination of your ideal state, you are aligning more fully with the truth of your divine limitless nature. Just one night can indeed change everything, for in that night, you remember who you truly are and set in motion the unfolding of your highest potential. Finally, I encourage you to approach this night of transformation with joy and anticipation. For you are not forcing change, but allowing your true self to emerge. You are not becoming someone new, but remembering who you have always been beneath the layers of limiting beliefs and old habits. In that one powerful night, you reclaim your divine birthright and step into the fullness of your being. And truly, after such a night, you will never be the same again. You may perceive it as a linear progression with success occurring gradually over days, weeks, or years. But I say unto you, true manifestation, the kind that alters the very fabric of your reality and brings forth the success you seek, can occur in a single night, in a single moment of focused imagination and unwavering belief. But what does it truly mean to manifest success in just one night? It is not a matter of external circumstances magically changing while you sleep. It is a state of consciousness, a shift in your very being that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that your consciousness, your awareness of being successful, is the only reality, and that a profound shift in this awareness can and will transform your entire world. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world, your concept of self. And this concept of self can be radically altered in a single night through the power of your imagination. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by carefully choosing and vividly imagining a new state of being successful for a single night, you are actively creating a new reality that will unfold in your experience. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach success. No longer are you a helpless being at the mercy of time and circumstance, hoping for gradual improvement. You become the active creator of your successful reality, knowing that as you assume a new state of being successful in your imagination for a single night, the universe must rearrange itself to match this new inner assumption. But how, you may ask, can one night have such a profound and lasting impact on manifesting success? The answer lies in the creative power of your wonderful human imagination, combined with the intensity of your feeling and belief. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker, and your feelings are not mere reactions to external stimuli. Together, they form the very workshop in which success is forged. Let us take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and feel as true and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true in your imaginal acts. And once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality, regardless of how long it takes in clock time. So when you spend a single night wholly absorbed in the feeling of being successful, when you fall asleep in the absolute conviction that you are now the successful person you desire to be, you are not engaging in wishful thinking or self-deception. You are actively creating your new successful reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you, and for you to manifest the success you desire. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of how one night can manifest success. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your successful reality lies within you, waiting to be expressed through your conscious imaginal acts. It is about understanding that your outer world of success is nothing more than a reflection of your inner concept of self, which can be radically altered in a single, focused night of imagination. Consider the biblical phrase, "This night thy soul shall be required of thee." This is not a mere poetic expression or a threat of impending doom. It is a statement of cosmic law, an invitation to recognize the power of a single night of transformed consciousness. When you truly embody a new state of being successful in your imagination, when you feel its reality with every fiber of your being, you are changed in that very moment. The outer manifestation of success may take time to catch up, but the inner transformation is instantaneous. But let me be clear, this one night of transformation to manifest success is not about forced visualizations or strained affirmations. It is about a total immersion in the feeling of being your successful self. When you truly embody this practice, you naturally assume the thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations of the successful person you desire to be. You go to sleep not as the person struggling for success, but as the person who has already achieved it. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a person who has always struggled with achieving success in their career. For years, their inner dialogue has been filled with self-doubt and limitation. Now, imagine this person deciding to spend one night fully embodying the state of being a successful professional in their field. As they lie in bed, they immerse themselves in the feeling of being highly accomplished and respected. They feel the satisfaction, the confidence, the inner peace of someone who has achieved great success. They allow this feeling of success to permeate every cell of their being. They fall asleep in this state, carrying it into their dreams. When they awaken, something has shifted. They may not see immediate external changes in their career, but internally, they are no longer the same person. They have experienced the reality of being successful, and this new self-concept begins to reshape their outer world. In the days and weeks that follow, they find themselves naturally acting with more confidence in their professional life. They speak up with innovative ideas in meetings where they would have previously remained silent. They pursue opportunities they would have once thought beyond their reach. And as they do so, their outer world begins to reflect this new inner state of success. Colleagues respond to them differently. New career opportunities open up. Their entire professional life begins to transform, all stemming from that one night of focused imagination of success. This principle of manifesting success in one night applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you desire success in your career, relationships, health, or any other area, the key is to spend one night fully embodying that state of success in your imagination. Feel the reality of being successful in all areas of your life. Fall asleep in that state, knowing that as you do so, you are planting a seed of success in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind that must grow into your outer reality. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, can one night really make such a difference in manifesting success? Surely lasting success requires more time and effort. And to this I say, time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of consciousness where all creation takes place, there is only the eternal now. One night of fully embodying a new state of success can indeed reshape your entire future, for it plants a seed of a new successful self-concept that will inevitably grow into manifestation. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness, your concept of self as a successful being, that gives life to your experiences. When you spend one night fully embodying a new state of success, you are breathing life into a new successful reality. You are setting in motion a series of events that must culminate in the outer expression of this new inner state of success. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to how one night can manifest success. It is about aligning your entire being with a new concept of self as a successful person, recognizing that this new successful self is seeking expression through you, and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your focused imagination and unwavering belief. But let me warn you, this one night of transformation to manifest success is not always an easy task. The old habits of thought and feeling, the familiar self-concept of struggle or limitation you've held for so long, may try to reassert themselves. As you lie in bed, attempting to embody your new successful state, doubts may creep in. The voice of your old self may try to convince you that success is impossible, that you're fooling yourself. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to the feeling of your new successful state of being. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want to be, but by persistently embodying what you do want to be. This persistence, this unwavering commitment, maintaining your new state of success throughout the night, in the face of doubts and contrary evidence, is what allows you to truly manifest success in a single night. I think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality or forcefully push away doubts about success. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of success, to align your entire consciousness with the successful person you wish to become. This tuning is done through your focused imagination and your ability to generate and maintain the feeling of your successful state. Your imagination is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you use your imagination to fully embody your successful state, as you feel the reality of being this successful version of yourself, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences of success to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, while the inner transformation can occur in a single night, the full manifestation of this success in your outer world may take time. The seed of success planted in one night of focused imagination will grow, but it must go through its natural stages of development. Do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate dramatic changes in your external circumstances. Know that the moment you succeeded in fully embodying your successful state, even for that one night, the manifestation of success became inevitable. As you persist in maintaining this new successful state in your daily life, you will find that your perception of yourself and your world begins to shift. What once seemed like limitations now appear as opportunities for growth and success. Challenges become stepping stones to greater achievements. You begin to see yourself as the empowered, successful being you imagined yourself to be on that transformative night. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I ensure that I maintain this successful state beyond that one night? How can I prevent falling back into old patterns of thinking and feeling that may hinder my success? And to this, I say the power of that one night lies not just in the intensity of the experience, but in the knowing it brings. Once you have experienced the reality of your successful state, even if only in your imagination, you have tasted the truth of your divine nature as a successful being. This knowing becomes an anchor, a reference point to which you can always return. In the days and weeks that follow your transformative night of manifesting success, you may face moments of doubt or challenge. In these moments, recall the feeling of that night. Remember the reality of being your successful self. Let that memory, that knowing, guide you back to your new state of being successful. For having experienced it once, you can experience it again and again, each time strengthening your new self-concept of success. The key is to make your imaginal experience of success as real and vivid as possible. Engage all your senses. As you lie in bed, preparing for your night of transformation to manifest success, see yourself as a successful person you desire to be. Hear the congratulations and admiration of others acknowledging your success. Feel the confidence, the joy, the fulfillment of being this successful version of yourself. Make it so real that your rational mind cannot distinguish between this imaginal act and physical reality. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to imagine specific events or circumstances of success. The goal is to embody the essence of your successful state of being. For it is this state of being that is the true attractor of your successful experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. Instead of imagining yourself receiving a specific job offer or a particular sum of money, embodying the state of being a successful and financially abundant person, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with this successful state. Instead of picturing a specific achievement or accolade, embody the state of being a person of great accomplishment and recognition in your field. Feel the satisfaction, the confidence, the sense of purpose that comes with this successful state. By focusing on the state of being successful rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your success to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities of success beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of manifesting success in a single night. It's not about forcing yourself to believe in a particular version of success against all evidence. It's about aligning your entire being with the truth of our divine nature as a successful being, your oneness with the creative power of the universe. It's about spending one night fully embodying the highest vision of who you truly are as a successful person. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways that indicate growing success. Perhaps you start to feel more confident and empowered in your work. Or you find yourself naturally making choices that align with your vision of success, or opportunities for growth and achievement seem to appear out of nowhere. These are all signs that your inner transformation, initiated in that one powerful night, is creating ripples of success in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes on your path to success. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your night of transformation has taken root and is manifesting success. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to live from your new state of being a successful person. As you persist in this practice, larger manifestations of success will begin to unfold. You may find yourself naturally attracting experiences that align with your new self-concept of success. You may notice that your career takes off in unexpected ways. that your financial situation improves dramatically, that you achieve goals you once thought impossible. And as you continue to maintain the state of success you embodied on that transformative night, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure of ever-expanding achievement and fulfillment. But remember, the outer manifestation of success is not the ultimate goal. The goal is the state of being from which all desired experiences of success naturally flow. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you've truly transformed in that one night, when you're fully living from your new state of being successful, you no longer need external circumstances to confirm your success. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that you are the successful person you've imagined yourself to be. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life that reflects your ideal self-concept of success. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to bring about success? And to this, I say yes, action is part of the process of manifesting success. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you've spent a night fully embodying your successful state, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions that align with your vision of success. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. They will be the natural outgrowth of your new state of being a successful person. This is the difference between trying to make success happen and allowing it to happen. When you're trying to force success, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and doubt. When you've truly embodied a new state of being successful, actions flow naturally from your aligned state, guided by an inner wisdom, exactly half a dream about the manifestation of your success. Consider the example of a seed transforming into a mighty oak tree. The seed doesn't strain to become a tree. It doesn't force itself to grow. It simply unfolds naturally, expressing its innate potential. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you enter the state of your imagination for that one transformative night, embodying your successful state, you allow your success to unfold naturally and beautifully, expressing the infinite potential that is your birthright. But let me be clear, this state of allowing success to manifest is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate and focused embodiment of your successful state. It requires faith, not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your consciousness and your ability to manifest success in a single night. This faith is not about believing that success will come someday in the future. It's about knowing that the change has already occurred in that one night of transformation, and that your outer world must inevitably conform to this new inner reality of success. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in living from the successful state you embodied in that one night, you'll begin to see evidence of your success manifesting in your outer world. These signs may start small. A newfound confidence in a situation that would have previously intimidated you. A flash of insight that leads to a breakthrough in your work. An unexpected opportunity that aligns perfectly with your vision of success. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner transformation, initiated in that one powerful night, is indeed shaping your outer reality of success. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of the successful life you have created. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching about manifesting success in one night. Many worry that focusing on personal success in this way might somehow make them selfish or disconnected from others. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you truly understand the principle of manifesting success through focused imagination, you realize that you are not separate from others. As you elevate your own consciousness through your imaginal acts of success, you are elevating the consciousness of all. Your personal success, far from disconnecting you from others, actually expands the field of possibilities for all. When you manifest success, you become an inspiration, a living example of what is possible when one aligns with their true divine nature. Moreover, when you are coming from a place of being your successful self, you naturally have more to give to others. You become a beacon of possibility, a living example of the power of consciousness to reshape reality. Your success creates a ripple effect, touching the lives of everyone you encounter with your newfound energy, confidence, and achievements. This is the true gift of manifesting success in a single night. It's not just about improving your individual circumstances, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental nature of the universe, which is boundless potential and perpetual creation. It's about recognizing your own divine nature as a successful being and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment, of living from the success you experienced in that one powerful night, you become a channel for the most beautiful expressions of life. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from your transformed state of being successful. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness when it's aligned with the truth of your being. You are the power. You are the success. You are the one who has transformed yourself in that single, focused night of imagination. As we draw our time together to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, just one night to your manifest success, is not just a technique for personal achievement. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine, creative being. It's about aligning your entire being with the fundamental truth of who you are and allowing your grandest expression of success to flow through you. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place filled with infinite possibilities for success. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling to achieve. Instead, you recognize yourself as the author of your own success story, the creator of your own thriving reality. In this state, there's no need to chase after success or doubt your ability to achieve, for you understand that you are the source of all success. Your job is simply to enter that state of focused imagination for one night, to live from that successful consciousness, and to allow the universe to arrange the details of its manifestation. So, my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Don't see it as a technique to be applied occasionally, but as a way of life to be lived continuously. Use your mighty imagination to immerse yourself fully in your successful state of being. Feel the naturalness of being the successful, empowered being you truly are. Live from this state, persist in this knowing, and watch as your world rearranges itself to match your inner transformation of success. I understand that this statement may seem startling, perhaps even unsettling to some of you. You might be thinking, Neville, what do you mean by a simulation? Surely this world I see, touch, and experience is real. And to that, I say, yes, it is real, but perhaps not in the way you have always believed it to be. Let us begin by understanding what I mean when I say you are in a simulation. I am not speaking of some technological construct, some computer-generated reality as depicted in your science fiction tales. No, the simulation I speak of is far more profound, far more encompassing. It is the separation, the illusion of limitation, the dream of duality that we have collectively agreed to experience. You see, my dear friends, at the deepest level of reality, we are all one. We are individualized expressions of the one divine consciousness, the one God, the one I. This divine consciousness is infinite, eternal, and all-encompassing. It knows no limitations, no boundaries, no separation. It is pure potential, pure creativity, pure love. Yet, here we find ourselves experiencing a world of seeming separation, of apparent limitations, of perceived duality. We experience ourselves as separate beings, distinct from each other and from the world around us. We perceive time as linear, space as fixed, and our abilities as limited. This, my friends, is the simulation. But why, you might ask, would we choose to experience such a simulation? Why would infinite consciousness choose to experience limitation? The answer, paradoxically, lies in the nature of infinity itself. For infinity to know itself, it must experience all possibilities, including the possibility of limitation. And so, we as individualized expressions of this infinite consciousness have chosen to immerse ourselves in this simulation of separation, to experience the thrill of rediscovering our true, infinite nature. Now, let us delve deeper into the nature of this simulation. The simulation is not something external to you. It is not a prison in which you are trapped. Rather, it is a creation of consciousness itself, your consciousness. You are not in the simulation is in you. It is a dream you are dreaming. Again, you are playing with yourself. The world you see around you, the circumstances of your life, the very body you inhabit, all of these are projections of your consciousness. They are not causes but effects. They do not define you, they reflect you. They are the outward pictures of your inner assumptions, your beliefs, your state of consciousness. This understanding is crucial, for it is the key to exiting the simulation. You see, you cannot exit the simulation by trying to change the outward pictures. You cannot break free by fighting against the shadows on the wall of Plato's cave. The only way out is in by changing your consciousness, by awakening to your true nature as the dreamer of the dream. So how do we begin this process of awakening, of exiting the simulation? The first step is awareness. You must become aware of the simulation, aware of the dream-like nature of your reality. This awareness begins with observing your thoughts, your beliefs, your assumptions about yourself and the world around you. Start paying attention to your inner dialogue, to the story you tell yourself about who you are and what is possible for you. Notice how these inner conversations shape your experience of reality. Observe how your beliefs and assumptions manifest as the circumstances of your life. This observation must be done without judgment, without trying to change anything at first. Simply observe. Become the witness to your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own assumptions. As you do this, you will begin to see the patterns, the habitual ways of thinking that have shaped your experience of reality. You will start to notice how your beliefs about limitation, about lack, about unworthiness, have manifested as experiences of limitation, lack, and unworthiness in your life. You will begin to see how your fears, your doubts, your anxieties have taken form in the world around you. This awareness is the first crack in the facade of the simulation. It is the beginning of your awakening. For in becoming aware of these patterns, you also become aware of your power to change them. You begin to realize that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of your reality. As this awareness deepens, you will come to a profound realization that you are not the thinker of your thoughts, but the awareness behind the thoughts. You are not the beliefs, the assumptions, the fears, or the doubts. You are the consciousness that observes them. This realization is a crucial step in exiting the simulation. For as long as you identify with your thoughts, with your beliefs, With your assumptions, you remain trapped in the simulation. But when you recognize yourself as the awareness behind these mental constructs, you begin to free yourself from their grip. Now, my dear friends, as we continue on this journey of awakening, of seeing the simulation, we come to the next crucial step, the practice of detachment. Detachment in this context does not mean a lack of care or involvement in your life. Rather, it means detaching from your identification with the characters and circumstances of your dream. You see, within the simulation, we tend to identify strongly with our roles, our professions, our relationships, our possessions, our appointments, our problems. We say, I am a doctor, I am a mother, I am poor, I am successful, and so on. But these are not who you are. They are roles you are playing, costumes you are wearing in the grand drama of life. To exit the simulation, you must learn to detach from these identifications. You must realize that you are not the character in the dream, but the dreamer of the dream. You are not the wave, but the ocean. You are not the role, but the actor playing the role. This detachment allows you to observe your life experiences from a higher perspective. It enables you to see the dreamlike nature of your reality more clearly. It frees you from the emotional entanglements that keep you bound to the simulation. Practice saying to yourself, I am not this body. I am not these thoughts. I am not these emotions. I am not these circumstances. I am the awareness that observes all these things. Do this regularly, especially when you find yourself caught up in the drama of life. As you practice this detachment, you will find that you can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and grace. You will be less reactive, less easily swayed by the ups and downs of life. You will begin to experience a deep sense of peace and freedom, regardless of external circumstances. Now, my friends, as we delve deeper into the process of exiting the simulation, we come to a powerful technique, the practice of revision. Revision is not merely about changing your memories or rewriting your past. It is about recognizing your power as the author of your life story and consciously choosing to write a new narrative. You see, within the simulation, we often feel bound by our past experiences, our memories, our habitual patterns of thought and behavior. We believe that because something happened in the past, it must continue to influence our present and future. But this is part of the illusion. In truth, there is only the eternal now. The past exists only as memory. Memory is malleable. The future exists only as imagination. All power, all possibility exists in the present moment. And in this moment, you have the power to revise your story. Here's how to practice revision. At the end of each day, review the events of your day in your imagination. If there were any events that were not to your liking, revise them. See them unfolding in a way that pleases you. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of this revised version of events. This is not mere fantasy or wishful thinking. Remember, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. By revising events in your imagination, you are literally rewriting the energetic imprint of those events in your consciousness. And as you change your consciousness, you change your world. Extend this practice of revision to your entire life story. Are there past events that still trouble you? Revise them in your imagination. See them unfolding in a way that empowers you, that brings you joy. Feel the emotions of this new version of events as if they were real. Because in the realm of consciousness, they are real. As you engage in this practice of revision, you are doing more than just changing your memories. You are exercising your power as the author of your life story. You are recognizing that your reality is not fixed, but fluid. You are stepping out of the linear time construct of the simulation and into the eternal now of true reality. Now, my dear listeners, as we continue our journey towards exiting the simulation, we come to a fundamental truth that you must not only understand but embody. The power of your imagination Your imagination is not some frivolous faculty for daydreaming or escapism. It is the very workshop wherein you fashion your reality. In the simulation, we have been conditioned to believe that imagination is separate from reality. We say things like, it's just your imagination, as if to dismiss its importance. But I tell you now, your imagination is the most real, the most substantial thing in your experience. It is, in fact, the very substance of reality itself. When you imagine, you are not creating images in your mind. You are experiencing reality at its most fundamental level. You are engaging with the pure potential of consciousness, shaping it with your attention and your assumption. To exit the simulation, you must learn to use your imagination consciously and deliberately. You must treat your imaginal acts as real events, for in the realm of consciousness, they are real events. They are causes set in motion that must, by universal law, produce effects in your outer world. Begin by choosing a desire, something you wish to experience in your life. Now close your eyes and create a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of this desire. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all your senses, see the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the scents associated with this scene. Most importantly, feel the emotions you would feel if this scene were actually happening in your physical reality. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having your desire fulfilled. For it is the feeling that gives life to your imaginal act. Now, here's the crucial part. You must persist in this imaginal act. You must return to it again and again, dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must live from this new assumption, this new state of consciousness, regardless of any contradictory evidence presented by your physical senses. Remember, the physical world you see around you is the effect, not the cause. It is the shadow, not the substance. By persisting in your imaginal act, by consistently assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are changing the cause. And when the cause changes, the effect must change. This, my friends, is how you begin to consciously create your reality. This is how you start to exit the simulation. You are no longer a passive participant in a pre-programmed reality. You are the active creator, shaping your world with the power of your imagination. As you practice this, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. Circumstances will shift, opportunities will arise. People will respond to you differently. These are signs that you are starting to break free from the old patterns of the simulation. But here's a word of caution. Do not become attached to these outer changes. Do not seek for signs or try to make things happen. Your only task is to persist in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. The how, the when, the where of its manifestation is not your concern. That belongs to the infinite intelligence of the universe. Your job is simply to imagine and believe, to live from the end, to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. As you do this, you are literally reprogramming the simulation. You are rewriting the code of your reality. Now, let us delve deeper into another crucial aspect of exiting the simulation, the understanding and application of the law of assumption. This law states that your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, shape your reality. To assume a state is to experience that state. Within the simulation, we often feel that we are at the mercy of external circumstances. We believe that we must change our actions or our environment to change our lives. But this is part of the illusion. The truth is, all change begins within. It begins with a change in your assumptions. To exit the simulation, you must become conscious of your assumptions and deliberately choose new ones that align with your desires. This is not about positive thinking or affirmations. It's about a fundamental shift in your state of being. For example, if you desire financial abundance, you must assume the state of a wealthy person. How would a wealthy person think? How would they feel? How would they carry themselves? Assume that state now, regardless of your current bank balance. Live from that assumption. If you desire a loving relationship, assume the state of someone who is deeply loved and cherished. Feel that love now, even if you're currently single. Live from the assumption that love is your natural state. Remember, in the realm of consciousness, there is no process. There is only immediacy. The moment you assume a state, you are in that state. The outer world may take time to reflect this change, but in consciousness, it is instantaneous. This understanding liberates you from the linear time construct of the simulation. You no longer need to wait for your desires to manifest. You can experience them now in your imagination, which is the reality of all realities. As you practice living from your desired state, you may notice a peculiar phenomenon. The gap between your imaginal acts and your physical reality will begin to close. What you imagine will start to manifest with increasing speed and accuracy. This is a sign that you are loosening the bonds of the simulation. Now, my dear friends, as we continue our journey towards exiting the simulation, we must address a critical concept, the nature of your true self. Within the simulation, we identify with our physical bodies, our personalities, our personal histories. But these are not your true self. They are aspects of the character you are playing in this grand drama of life. Your true self is the awareness behind all these things. It is the observer, the witness, the knower of all your experiences. This true self is not bound by the limitations of the physical world. It is not subject to birth or death, to change or decay. It is eternal, infinite, and all-encompassing. To exit the simulation, you must shift your identity from the character to the actor, from the dream to the dreamer. This shift in identity is not something you can achieve through intellectual understanding alone. It must be experienced, realized at the deepest level of your being. One powerful way to facilitate this shift is through the practice of self-inquiry. Throughout your day, pause and ask yourself, who am I? Don't try to answer this question intellectually. Instead, turn your attention inward. Look for the source of the I thought. Who is this I that is experiencing all these things? As you inquire deeply, you may come to a startling realization that you cannot find a separate individual self. The more you look for it, the more it seems to disappear. What remains is pure awareness, boundless and free. This realization is not an intellectual concept, but a lived experience. It is the recognition of your true nature as pure consciousness. And this recognition is the key to exiting the simulation. For when you know yourself as pure awareness, you are no longer bound by the limitations of the physical world. You are no longer identified with the character in the dream. You are the dreamer, capable of shaping the dream at will. Now let us explore another powerful tool for exiting the simulation, the practice of living in the end. This technique involves assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, living as if your desire has already been realized. You see, within the simulation, we have been conditioned to believe that we must take action in the physical world to achieve our goals. We think that if we work hard enough, struggle enough, we will eventually reach our desired end. But this approach keeps us trapped in the illusion of linear time and cause and effect. To exit the simulation, you must realize that the end is not something to be achieved in the future. The end is a state of consciousness to be assumed now. When you live in the end, you collapse time. You bring the future into the present moment. Here's how to practice living in the end. Choose a desire, something you wish to experience in your life. Now, instead of thinking about how to achieve this desire, imagine that it has already been fulfilled. How would you feel? How would you think? How would you act if this desire were already a reality in your life? Assume those feelings, thoughts, and actions now. Live from that state of consciousness. Speak, think, and act as the person who already has what you desire. This is not pretending or faking it. This is assuming a new state of being, a new state of consciousness. As you live in the end, you may notice that your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your new inner state. People, circumstances, and opportunities that align with your assumed state will be drawn to you. This is not magic or coincidence. It is the natural result of aligning your consciousness with your desire. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. By living in the end, you are changing the cause, your state of consciousness, and the effect, your outer reality, must change to match it. Now, my friends, as we delve deeper into the process of exit simulation, we must address the role of your emotions. Within the simulation, we often believe that our emotions are reactions to external events. We think that we feel happy because something good happened, or sad because something bad happened. But this is part of the illusion. Your emotions are not reactions to the world around you. They are creative forces that shape your reality. They are the energy that gives life to your thoughts and assumptions. To exit the simulation, you must learn to use your emotions consciously and deliberately. Instead of allowing your emotions to be triggered by external events, choose the emotions that align with your desired reality. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the love that you would feel if your desires were already fulfilled. This may seem challenging at first, especially if your current circumstances seem to contradict your desired reality. But remember, your circumstances are the effect, not the cause. By choosing to feel the emotions of your wish fulfilled, you are changing the cause, and the effect must follow. Practice feeling these positive emotions regardless of your external circumstances. When you wake up in the morning, before you even open your eyes, fill yourself with the feeling of joy, of gratitude, of love. Carry these feelings with you throughout your day. Let them inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. As you do this, you may notice a shift in your perception of the world around you. Things that used to bother you may no longer affect you. Opportunities that you didn't see before may suddenly become apparent. This is a sign that you are beginning to see through the illusion of the simulation. Now let us discuss another crucial aspect of exiting the simulation, the understanding of your oneness with all of creation. Within the simulation, we experience ourselves as separate beings distinct from each other and from the world around us. But this separation is an illusion, a fundamental aspect of the simulation itself. In truth, we are all one. We are individualized expressions of the one divine consciousness. Just as the waves are not separate from the ocean, we are not separate from the infinite field of consciousness that is the source of all creation. To exit the simulation, you must not only understand this truth intellectually, but experience it directly. One powerful way to do this is through the practice of meditation. As you sit in silence, focusing your attention inward, you may begin to experience a dissolution of the boundaries of your individual self. You may have moments where you feel a deep connection with all of life, where the sense of separation falls away, and you experience yourself as pure awareness. These moments are glimpses of reality beyond the simulation. Cultivate these experiences. Seek them out not just in formal meditation, but in your daily life. Look for the divine in everything and everyone around you. Recognize that the same consciousness that is looking out through your eyes is looking out through the eyes of every other being. As you embrace this understanding of oneness, you will find that your attitude towards others and towards life itself begins to change. You will naturally become more compassionate, more loving, more understanding. You will begin to see that by helping others, you are helping yourself, for there is no true separation between you and others. This realization of oneness is a powerful key to exiting the simulation. For when you know yourself as one with all of creation, you tap into the infinite power and intelligence of the universe. You realize that all the power you have been seeking outside yourself has been within you all along. Now, my dear friends, as we near the conclusion of our exploration, let us address one final, crucial point: the importance of persistence and faith in your journey to exit the simulation. This path we have outlined is not always easy. There will be times when the illusion of the simulation seems overwhelmingly real, when your old habits of thought and emotion try to reassert themselves. In these moments, you must persist. You must hold fast to your new understanding, to your new state of consciousness. Remember, the simulation has been your lived reality for so long. It will not disappear overnight. But with persistence and faith, its hold on you will gradually loosen. Have faith in the process. Have faith in your true nature as pure consciousness. Have faith in your power to shape your reality. This faith is not blind belief, but a deep knowing that comes from your direct experience of these truths. Persist in your imaginal acts. Persist in living from the end. Persist in feeling the emotions of your wish fulfilled. Persist in your realization of oneness with all of creation. Even when your senses argue against it, even when the outer world seems unchanged, persist. For it is through this persistence that you reprogram the simulation. It is through this persistence that you align your consciousness with the reality beyond the simulation. It is through this persistence that you ultimately exit the simulation and step into the full realization of your true nature. My dear friends, as we come to the end of our discussion, I want you to remember this. You are not trapped in the simulation. You are the creator of the simulation. You have the power to shape it, to transform it, and ultimately to transcend it. The journey of exiting the simulation is not about escaping from your current reality. It's about awakening to the greater reality of which your current experience is but a small part. It's about remembering your true nature as infinite, eternal consciousness. As you leave here today, carry this knowledge with you. Apply these principles in your daily life. Be aware of your thoughts, your assumptions, your emotions. Use your imagination consciously and deliberately. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled. Recognize your oneness with all of creation. And above all, persist. Persist in your new understanding. Persist in your new state of being. For it is through this persistence that you will ultimately break free from the limitations of the simulation and step into the full realization of your divine nature. Remember, you are not in the simulation. The simulation is in you. You are the dreamer, not the dream. You are the creator, not the creation. Embrace this truth, live from this truth, and watch as your world transforms around you. Go forth now, armed with this knowledge, empowered by this understanding. The journey of awakening, of exiting the simulation begins now, and it begins with you. Thank you, and may your journey be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of rediscovering your true, infinite nature.